morning. My name is Megan Edwards of Focus Communications, and today we're getting a company introduction to Decklar Resources, which trades on the TSX.V under the symbol DKL. And joining me today is Decklar's CEO, Sanmi Famuyide. Sanmi, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Now, Sanmi, some of our audience may not be familiar with your background and the background of Decklar. Could you please share a corporate overview of the company, as well as your educational background, your oil and gas background, and what compelled you to become CEO of Decklar Resources?
Thanks, Megan. I've been involved in the oil and gas sector for over 20 years now. I have a master's degree in applied environmental economics from Imperial College London, and a first degree in chemical engineering. Earlier on in my career, I was involved in providing advisory services to indigenous oil and gas service companies that needed to participate in the divestment rounds that was going on at that time. Governments were running bid rounds for the marginal fields, and the international oil companies were divesting of their assets. The strategic nature of these transactions was useful in allowing me interact with senior leadership of these oil and gas companies and build very useful relationships with government institutions that provided regulation for the sector. The experience and the relationships built were very useful as I transitioned later on from the advisory role to working in an oil and gas company, where I was responsible for growth of portfolio and specific asset management. A couple of years ago, I was fortunate to join as part of the founding team of Decklar. We were individuals that had worked together in the last 10 to 20 years, so the chemistry was very good. We closed our first deal, the Oza Marginal Field, which was a very attractive, low-risk appraisal asset. Subsequently, we went on to list Decklar on the TSX.V, and in the months that followed, we closed on 2 additional acquisitions, the Asaramotoro field and Imoa fields.
And on September 27th, Decklar announced a $20 million US debt financing with a subsidiary of Shell, which appears to be a significant milestone. What should an investor know about this relationship with Shell, and are there other significant partnerships like this available to Decklar?
We're very pleased to have closed the $20 million Shell development financing. It's a very important milestone because it validates our full field development plan of the assets. And especially if one considers the level of rigor of independent evaluation that was done by Shell, I mean, it makes us very comfortable. Aside Shell, there are several other strategic relationships, whether on the financial side, on the operational side, we continue to leverage as we grow the company.
And could you please outline the merits of the Oza field? And is this Decklar's flagship concession?
There are several merits that we find attractive when we look at the Oza Marginal Field. First, the netback per barrel metric is very attractive at $50 per barrel at today's oil price. Second, the Oza field is an onshore conventional field with stacked reservoir stands. What that means is that upsides can be unlocked very quickly by completing and testing new zones. The stacked nature of the reservoir makes it possible to complete using dual string completions. What that means is that you can produce 2 zones simultaneously using 2 strings from 1 well. What that does is that production per well is higher and the cost per well is lower. Furthermore, the Oza field benefits from alternative evacuation routes. This ensures that the uptime from production remains high from that optionality.
And Sanmi, to wrap things up, why should an investor consider Decklar as a worthwhile investment opportunity today?
We believe this is an exciting time for an investor to consider Decklar. First, the netback is very attractive, as I described earlier, about $50 per barrel now. Second, the cash flow is strong. Shell's participation validates that. Third, the multiple evacuation options ensures that the cash flow also remains strong. And in addition, Aside OZA, Decklar has two other additional assets that are equally attractive that we can bring online very quickly over the next 12 to 18 months.
Once again, we want to thank you for coming on the show today, Sanmi. We're looking forward to hearing more from Decklar in the very near future.
Thank you.